Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman here with the great Ellie. Ellie, how are you?
Doing all right. Got a good episode for you tonight.
Yeah. Lots jam-packed show here today. We got Hawks, all Hawks as they'll be on they'll be everywhere tonight, right? They'll be on ANF,
PeachtreeTV, and the Peachtree Sports Network.
They'll be all over tonight. We're all over covering every angle of their game against the Pacers tonight, starting at 7:30. Right now, we have Emily Gagnon over at State Farm Arena. She's got a really cool preview for the game tonight. Emily, take it away.
Tonight. Scott, I know you're going to talk about it, but so am I. The last two times these teams faced off, the Pacers dropped at least 150 points on the Hawks. The defense hasn't shown up. Tonight, we will see if they can finally keep them under that many points, but it is incredible to think that in this day and age, there's a team giving up that many points to another team in the National Basketball Association. I had to say it. So we heard from the head coach before this game. Here he is pregame, Quinn Snyder.
Well, one of the things about their team that's been consistent is even with him out of the game, they've been really good, and they've won, and they've outscored their opponents with that bench unit by substantial margins. So that's not to diminish his absence. I think I have incredible respect for him as a player and things that he does for their team. I don't think it changes how they play. He's unique.
Quinn, I'm sorry, Dustin DePirek. Or somebody else. Oh, sorry. I hope I didn't jump anybody there. If you could elaborate a little bit on that. I mean, what does change? I mean, like you said, it's mostly the same. Certainly the same pace. They certainly try to run the ball a lot. I mean, how do you or run?
You've watched them play.
Yeah, I have. I'm interested in your thoughts.
It's kind of that it kind of starts and ends there. I mean, as good as anytime you don't have a player like that, you kind of go through all the things that he does for a team, no different than, if we were without a player or any team, he's elite. And, but as I said, they're capable, more than capable, and they've shown that when he's out of the game. He played 22 some minutes against us, and, a 48-minute game, and, they put up 150 points on us. So I don't know that your preparation for him is obviously different. He's not playing, but as far as how you prepare for the team, they're still going to run, they're still going to shoot threes, they're still going to play with multiple actions. They'll dribble handoff, they'll screen, they'll peel, they'll play pick and roll. So all those things, I think, as far as their style of play, that's what they've embraced. That's their identity. And he's just, because of, his talent and his intellect, and, his leadership, you always miss a player like that. But I don't think it impacts you when it's kind of self-evident to me, I guess, that really the answer to your question is to go on a long diatribe about how great a player Tyrese is. So I'll spare you that, but I could do that.
Quinn, the other night, you came up with the plays that you needed to close out the game in the fourth quarter and in overtime defensively. Is there anything that you take from that momentum-wise that you tell the team that, hey, these are the things that we need to focus on, especially, in the fourth quarter and the ends of the game?
I think that's something that that period of the game, that crunch time, clutch period, however you want to define it, we've been better in those situations. As an example, you could play great defense during a possession, and then you don't finish it with a defensive rebound, and they score. So it feels like you didn't play great defense, but you played good defense but you didn't defensive rebound. So I think it's important to look at, where your failings are, not just at the end of the game, but in this case, at the end of the game, per your question, and try to drill down on those things. And I think our defensive rebounding was a big part of it. I thought we did a better job getting back, where we, were able to take away easy baskets, and in those situations too, not foul. Usually that's the case if you're at a disadvantage. It's also the case on the defensive glass that, I thought we executed on the offensive end as well, and that also has an impact, on what you're doing defensively for all the reasons, particularly in transition. So I've mentioned it before that's for us just, I think any team, an ongoing process, but it's obviously something that we've focused on. And you like to see progress in those areas, and frankly, you like to see it affirmed with a win, and that was the case.
Going off of those crunch time moments, I'm curious, I talked to Trey earlier this week, and he said you were one of the most cerebral coaches he's ever had. How much do you feel those connections when it does come down to the wire, whether it's overtime games where you guys can be on the same wavelength and figure out how to pull out a win?
It's really, really important. I want to be able to help those guys as much as I can. And a lot of those dynamics, with a coach and a player, that also, there's an experiential part of that, that you go through those things together and you learn from them on both sides. When you have success, you can look at it and say, here's why. We felt, and sometimes it's not success, but you might execute. But I think the key thing is the execution, and to try to, as much as you can, separate yourself from the result, because we all feel the result, and sometimes you feel it, to the point where it doesn't make you feel any better that maybe you, quote unquote, executed, because ultimately the measure of your execution in the end is the outcome. So, but back to your original question, I think it's incredibly important. And just like players learning to play together, or players learning, in a system and finding comfort and continuity and ultimately instinct, that usually creates confidence. And as I said, I think that takes time, and it gets back to why. I think for Trey in particular, him understanding why we're doing something is really important, because he's, I appreciate he said that. I feel the same, that he's got a great understanding of the game, and if you can have conversations, whether it be over film or over text or at practice, I think that's really beneficial to him. It provides him more clarity.
You got to remember, the Hawks are entering this one with a little bit of momentum. They beat the 76ers here Wednesday in overtime. They're actually coming off back-to-back overtime games, going 1-1. They lost to the Magic on the road before that 76ers game. Also, they're back at home, right? It's a 5-game homestand. This is 2 of 5. So this home crowd on a Friday night, I expect it to be loud. I look forward to seeing what it's like in here tonight. I haven't been here in a minute, so it'll be nice for me. But guys, that will do it for me reporting from State Farm Arena. I'll see you in just a bit.
Meeting.
Ellie, did I mention that we have this game covered from top to bottom, every angle, all the way around? Did I mention that?
You did, and we certainly do. It's been a busy day here at the station.
Yeah. So many angles to this game. This past, our own Bailey Burmaster, sports director Bailey Burmaster, sat down with star point guard Trae Young this week to talk about a bunch of things on and off the court. Take a listen.
So for starters, going in League 6th year now, how has motivating yourself changed over the years? Because I have to believe from when you entered this league so young, it's changed.
Yeah, for sure. I think as like a young player in this league, I think everybody wants to come in and present their mark or try to find where they stand in this league and just try to cement their place and where they land in this league. And so I think early on that was kind of what I wanted to do, and did pretty good at it, obviously, and made my name for myself. But the wins weren't necessarily following. We had a young team, and we got older and got some guys, made a conference finals run. And I think now it's just more focused on just winning, and that's the only thing for me. I mean, numbers are what they are, but I just want to focus on winning and make that the main thing.
With your role, what's been the hardest lesson you've learned while being in the NBA?
Just patience. I think that's the toughest thing. It's not too many guys in the history of this game that just came in and won right away. And I think when you're a high draft pick, you're usually a pretty good player. But you go to a team that's either rebuilding or young, or there's a reason why you're going pretty high. And so I think learning patience was a big thing for me coming into this league. I'm still learning it every day, and but definitely just the patience part of just trying to win. So,
along with that, you get drafted. You're 19, right? Mm-hmm. And you're expected to lead a team. How hard is that? And did you almost battle imposter syndrome a little? Because that's a big role to take on.
No, for sure. It's definitely different. You come into the league, you go to dinners with guys who are 7, 8, 9, 10 years older than you, and you kind of have to learn their ways and learn the NBA ways. I think for me, NBA stands for no boys allowed. So even being 19, you can't necessarily be a boy. You have to kind of mature fast and learn a lot of things fast if you want to be special. So it was definitely a challenge coming in early on, but I learned pretty quick and I was able to adjust.
I'm sure you were taking a lot in and taking in a lot of advice from whoever you could talk to. What was the best piece of advice and who gave it to you?
I played with some really, really cool vets. Vince Carter was here my first year. I think just being around guys like Rondo, I think a couple of years in I just never forget him just telling me how it's a process. Like I hadn't won early on before he had gotten here, and then we made the trade for him, and then just having him around on the planes, always picking his brain, asking him what he saw when I was on the court, things like that. He helped me a lot, and ultimately at the end of the year, even after he got traded, I would remember the things that he told me, and we made the long run that same year. And so I think Rondo is one of my best vets that as far as giving me words and pieces of advice on the court.
On top of that, there's that serious part of getting advice and being able to learn and lead, but you also need the guys that help you kind of just have fun and let the walls down. Who's been that player for you?
I've had a lot of really cool players that have really just given me that. I think you would mean it as like a breath of fresh air, somebody who would just give you confidence. And Justin Anderson was that guy for me. Solomon Hill, Lou Will at times was really good for me. And then I think those three are the first three that come to mind. Like those guys really gave me confidence and just really elevated not only me but my teammates.
I think people get lost in the fact you are still young, and in that between high school, time at OU, now here, you really haven't had that many coaches. Mm-hmm. How would you describe Quinn Snyder compared to the coaches you have had?
He's just, I joke with him all the time. I tell him he's probably the second best coach when it comes to cerebral and smartness that I've had my whole career, behind my AAU coach, who I played a couple years for, and we won the biggest AAU tournament you can win in high school, and just the biggest tournaments you can win. And I think the difference and similarities that they have is just they're easy to work with, and someone who puts everybody in their spots and makes it easier for me as a point guard to know where everybody needs to be, and then to be able to put guys in the places. And I think whenever the coach, gives orders and makes sure everybody's in their spots, it only makes it easier for the point guard. And because the point guard is just the coach on the floor, so whenever the coach makes it easier and puts everybody in their places, and it only makes it easier for the point guard, like I said. And so I think just having Quinn around has made it a lot easier for me to lead and tell guys where they need to be, and also tell me where I need to be. He holds me accountable just as much as he holds everybody else accountable, if not more. So I think that's something that has helped me and helped our team, and it's going to help us in the long run.
How big is that accountability from just your years here with the Hawks?
It's very important to have accountability. I think the best teams, the teams that win championships, all have that type of accountability, and they all know how to play their roles, and they know what they need to bring to the team to help them win. And being accountable and being held accountable is what sets the standard for that.
What's something that maybe the average person doesn't get to see about Quinn Snyder? You're with him every day. You know, we're not at practice. We can't be in the intimate moments. But what's something that you think would surprise people about Quinn?
I think unless you really talk to him, you wouldn't know how much of a jokester he is and how much of a laid-back guy he is. I mean, I know that's the reason why guys love playing for him, and even former players from guys that he's, coached in the past, that told me they love playing for him. I think it's just you see him on TV and you see how intense he is and how scary sometimes he looks like when it comes to his facial expressions. But when you talk to him, it's a whole different feel and vibe. I think you can feel the sincerity that he has for his players, and he wants to win too. He's competitive, so he's gonna get things off his chest. But at the same time, it's all just to help us win. So I think the jokester behind him is the stuff that people don't get to see.
As a leader of this team, how much do you take on that with the trade deadline coming up on February 8th? There could be new pieces or there could be some missing pieces from this team, and it's your responsibility to make it a cohesive unit no matter who's out there.
For sure. I definitely take a big responsibility for it. I don't put 100% of it on me, of course, but I definitely put more than half of it on me because I am on the court, and I feel like whoever I am out there with, I feel like I can make it work. And even our team this year, I feel like we've lost a lot of close games that could have easily been our way, and I feel like there's times that I could have been better and helped our team, and maybe we could have more wins here and there. So I'm always going to take responsibility for our team's record and what's going on with our team. And but at the same time, we can only play our parts, and but we all can be better. And I put myself in that forefront always if our record isn't where it needs to be.
Who right now on this roster do you feel is almost irreplaceable for your development? And what I mean by that is you get into practice, and they're that person that's always kind of getting under your skin, pushing you to another level.
We all kind of push each other. I think this is a team, like we're a young team. We're not necessarily a veteran team. So we all kind of have that little extra edge of motivation that we want to push each other and want to be better. And so I think we kind of all push each other. I don't think it's necessarily one or two guys.
You've started the season off probably the best you have since joining the Hawks. Why do you think that is?
It's a lot of factors. And I don't necessarily want to get into why I've been playing good because necessarily our record isn't where I want it to be. So I appreciate that, but I feel like our record can be a lot better. And not to shy away from you giving me credit, I just feel like there's times I can be better. And obviously I'm having my best year as far as numbers-wise and percentages-wise, but except free throws. I can be better shooting free throws. But like I said, I can still be better in that area. There's things that I've done that's pretty good this year, but I can still be better too, and we'll continue to do them, and we'll get wins to follow.
So I shouldn't even ask if you care about All-Star.
No, you shouldn't even ask about that. You should ask me if I want Bogey in three-point contest or Jalen to get this Most Improved award.
They should throw him in the dunk contest, probably.
They should, but Jalen would have to accept that too. If he was in it, he would win. So.
I did just want to ask you, switching from ball to life a little bit, just where you feel like you've matured the most.
Matured the most, I feel like you said, I'm still young. I still have a lot to learn and still have a lot to grow at. But I feel like just learning my teammates when it comes to over the summer, spending time with them or calling them and checking in. And I think a lot of winning at a high level comes from the chemistry that the players have and the camaraderie that everybody has. It's not just the players, from the coaches, bottom, from the top to the bottom. And I feel like that's something I've been really good at, and I can continue to be better at, is building that chemistry and talking to guys off the court. And so whenever we get on the court, it's just an easy switch.
2 kiddos now. What have they taught you about life?
That there's a lot more important things in this life than basketball. That's definitely what my kids have taught me. I think for me, just understanding that whether I have a great game or a good game, I can come home and my son is not going to care about what went on or what happened, and he's just going to love me and be happy. And I can't come home with a mad attitude all the time or upset that we lost. I got to come home and be dad and understand I can leave work where it is and be a family man when I get home. So that's all my plans are.
How hard was that switch for you, going from a kid who eats, breathes, sleeps basketball, and then?
It is hard, but it's not. It's hard because that's how I am in general. I'm a family person. I care about others before myself, and so for me, like having kids, it was just another layer of something that I had to, or that I wanted to be a part of my life, and I was excited about. So, just understanding I'm always going to be a family person and put my family before anything else. So that was the easy thing for me.
I just want to end it on this because I was curious. You started a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Why podcast?
I started a podcast so I could have my own platform. So when anything that I wanted to get out, or certain things that came out about me that aren't necessarily true, or just anything, like it's my platform. I know I have a place that I can go and speak my mind and speak the honest truth about a certain situation, whether it's about me or something I see, or just anything. So I think it was more about that and just making sure I had a platform for when certain times come up, I know where to go.
For the truth.
For the truth.
That was a tremendous interview, Bailey, over there. Like I said, we got this game covered from top to bottom. Every wall-to-wall, Hawks, and post-game show coming up after us too, right? So that's
Post-game show coming up after us. We've got the ANF crew, Alan Devlin and Tori Cooper out there at State Farm Arena right now. And, God, they have gotten up to some antics. And a couple hours ago, they were up at the Top Golf Suites trying it out. Although, I don't know if I'd ever trust Tori with a golf club. Check it out.
You know, there are many ways to enjoy a Hawks game. Some of us will be watching for free tonight here on Atlanta News First, but if you're willing to spend the money, State Farm Arena has some more luxurious options, even more active options.
And for those of us who aren't swanky enough to be in there, we're going to give you a sneak peek of how the high society gets to enjoy a game. Atlanta News First anchors Alan Devlin and Tori Cooper inside the suite level at State Farm Arena with sports director Bailey Burmaster. And Bailey, your golf swing. I love you.
On it, right, Bailey?
But you're going to have to work on that swing, boo.
We're talking trash, Bailey.
Hey,
We're already talking trash.
We're already talking trash, but she made some points, Sean. We'd like to see you out here, okay? We'd like to see you out here, but we are having a friendly competition here in the Top Golf Swing Suite.
Tongue twister.
Okay, it's a tongue twister, but look at Bailey already warming up. But we brought you down the court, and we figured we'd bring you up here for some other action, right?
You want to go get a swing in?
I guess so.
Go get a swing in. All right, so we're going to get Tori and Bailey in here to see who's got the best swing. Tori, you're going to go first. Now, Tori has not warmed up at all. She's going to step up to the tee. Well, you're on live TV now. You got to figure something out.
All right.
Go for it.
I'm going to be just fine.
Bailey, you coming after Tori to see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Oh, not a whiff. Bailey, take it. Take it. Bailey, switch it out. We're going to switch it out. While they're switching out, I want to remind you guys, tonight, 7 o'clock, Bailey Burmaster, who's about to probably knock this out of the whole field, is going to be down on the side of the court. Oh, wait, we get any points? You know what? Here, take the mic, Tori. Take the mic. Take the mic.
He thinks he's Tiger Woods. He really does. He just talks smack all day long. Let's see if he's got it. Bailey Burmaster is teeing him up. All right, we got Alan Devlin on the green. He hasn't warmed up. Oh, he has warmed up. This is for Sean. This is for Sean. He says this is for Sean. Live TV. Oh.
Okay, his swing's a little bit better.
All right,
but not much.
Please put Tori back up there.
That was
He's so good.
All right.
Bailey was the best.
No points.
All right, so Bailey was the best. She had the best points, but we want to also remind you some of the other stuff that we're going to show you tonight. We have Bailey Burmaster with your pregame show later on at 7 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that.
Mm-hmm. And also on top of that, this, again, is a monumental opportunity for Atlanta News First, for PeachtreeTV, for the Peachtree Sports Network, and for Gray Television. But really, it's for you guys. That's really what's so cool about this new opportunity. Our general manager, Eric Schrader, talked all about it. I want to hear a little bit about what he had to say.
We're so excited to make sure that everybody has a chance to see the Hawks for free, and that's going to be really exciting. You've seen our Facebook pages, you've seen it in the community. We're hearing from people who haven't had an opportunity to see the game in quite a while. They are pumped about this. Let's get Atlanta a taste of the Hawks again. Let's allow people who haven't had an opportunity to see them.
Come on over here, Bailey. So Bailey now is on the mic here. Tori's going to do one more swing for you guys. She whiffed the first time. We're going to see if she can get it this time. I know, right? Oh, we're both in the danger zone. Let's get out of here. Cooper, come back. Come on, Tori. Yay! you go. There you go. No points, but she hit the ball.
No points.
She hit the
So
ball.
wait, who?
I think you're the only one who scored.
Mic drop.
Look, Sean and Blair, you guys were talking trash. Y'all can come out here.
Listen, the trash was merited.
We'll see who's got the
It was merited.
I'm just glad Tori got another chance
honestly,
of
it
that.
kinda
'Cause
was.
I'm going to
It
have that
kinda
on
was.
loop once you guys get back to
It
the
kinda
studio
was.
here.
Cooper, come back here. Come on.
At least we hit the ball. Back to you guys in the studio.
We hit the ball, right? All right, we'll give it to you guys. Have fun out there. And again, that game time is 7 o'clock right here on Atlanta News First and on Peachtree TV.
If you want a schedule of the games airing here on Peachtree TV and Atlanta News First, text Hawks, the word Hawks, to the number 470-777 WANF to have that schedule of games sent directly.
All right, Elliot, so as we sort of switch topics here a little bit, so NFL playoffs beginning this weekend, so that has me all fired up. I love the NFL playoffs. It just sort of brings me to a couple interesting points when it comes to NFL quarterbacks recently, right? Because I'm all over social media. I love engaging with people talking about NFL football.
And God, you get people going.
I do. I get people going. So, and you'll like this one too. So it's just last few weeks, it's just sort of interesting to me how we put so many different NFL quarterbacks in certain boxes, right?
Yeah.
And no matter what we see performance-wise, we just sort of stick with the narrative that kind of that person was labeled with, right? So let me give you two quick examples. So Justin Fields, that's the example for you with the Bears. You're a Bears fan. Justin Fields, when you look at statistically and everything, he's an excellent running quarterback. But statistically as a passer,
he's not.
He really hasn't arrived yet, right?
Yeah,
Right.
he's not
ideal.
ideal.
Right. So, and it's sort of funny because I think people like Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields. He played Ohio State. He's from Harrison High School around here in the Atlanta area. Lots to like about Justin Fields, right? Well, I think no matter what happens now, Justin Fields is now on his third. They just fired their offensive coordinator, so he'll be having his third offensive coordinator since he's been in Chicago. So no matter what,
that's not good for development. I'm sorry.
Right. It's not good for development, but it seems like no matter how Justin plays, there are people who will they will give him excuses. They will say, well, the coaching situations hasn't been good. He was there through Matt Nagy and now a second head coach, his third offensive coordinator, maybe not a very, not the most talented weapons around him on that football team.
But now you have DJ Moore.
Right, they had DJ Moore, and statistically his passing stats didn't really take off this year the way people thought they would. So now people are saying, well, maybe if they add Marvin Harrison, that'll help him be better, a better offensive line. People have no problem giving him built-in excuses. So let me sort of turn the table. So I grew up in Cleveland, obviously, Browns fan. We've talked about that before. Baker Mayfield was there a few years ago. Baker Mayfield is a guy who most people don't have an in-between. Either you love him or you hate him, right? So Baker is now on his second team. He was sort of pushed out of Cleveland. I understand that Deshaun Watson is a more talented quarterback. They've now on Joe Flacco now, but that's a whole different story. But anyway, Baker is now, he took the Browns to the playoffs a couple years ago. They went 11-5. He had a pretty good season that year under Kevin Stefanski. They made the playoffs. They pushed him aside once they moved on, went and got Deshaun Watson. Now he resurfaced in Tampa after a couple different stops in Carolina and with the Rams. Resurfaces in Tampa and leads them to a division title and back to the playoffs. So he's taking his second team. He's taking now two different teams to the playoffs. And people still stick with the narrative that Baker's not that good. He's inconsistent. He's not that good. I don't even know if he's going to get a long-term contract. When clearly, when you look at like those two quarterbacks, Baker has been he's been probably one of no worse.
This is a man who whipped behind on the Rams after like 4 days.
Yeah.
A week.
I mean, so look, I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield is a great quarterback. He's kind of a middle of the road quarterback, but I think it's just amazing how we get locked into these narratives when we say this guy's no good, this guy's really good, and we never move off those narratives when, regardless of what we see performance-wise, we just stick with it, right?
It's nuts.
It's wild.
What's on my mind, the Braves extended Alex Anthopoulos, general manager, through 2031. No-brainer. We're running out of time. I'm Ellie Parker for Scott Pennyman. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching us on Peachtree Sports Network or online, stick around for the Hawks pregame show, which starts pretty much right now.
Go for it.